Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Novo Resources Corp. Before I introduce our speaker, a few points to note. Please submit your questions in the question box to the left of the slides. If you are interested in scheduling a meeting with Novo Resources Corp, please click on the Schedule Meetings tab found in the platform navigation bar. You'll be able to view the company's availability and submit a meeting request. On a final note, all of today's presentations will be recorded and available for 24/7 replay. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Mike Spreadborough, Executive Co-Chairman of Novo Resources Corp., which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol NSRPF and on the TSXV under the symbol NVO. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'm Mike Spreadborough. I'm the Executive Co-Chairman of Novo Resources. During today's presentation, we're going to give you a good summary of our business, but please refer to our more substantial corporate presentation that's on our website. As is customary, have a look at our cautionary statement when you do look at that presentation. As you'll hear today, we've got a very large exploration portfolio in Western Australia, and as part of that, we work with 10 different traditional owner groups across that area. We recognise their unique cultural heritage, beliefs and connections to these lands, waters and communities, and we pay our respects to all members of these Indigenous communities and to their elders past, present and emerging. So who is Novo? Novo is a unique greenfields gold exploration company with an exceptional tenement package across 10,500 square kilometres in the northwest of Western Australia, and also we have tenements south of Fosterville Mine in Victoria. That's a very large tenement package, 10,500 square kilometres. It's roughly about 80% of the land mass of the state of Connecticut, so a very large opportunity for gold success. While we're based in Perth, we are listed on both the TSX and the OTC, so we're a very easy place for us to invest. Our whole strategy is focused on defining standalone projects which have a potential of over 1 million ounces. We have a proven exploration and technical team. They have the credentials and global experience to make discoveries and build out resources. Our key project is Becher, and you'll hear more about this in today's presentation. Becher sits within our Egina Gold Camp. It's the most advanced exploration project we have. It has huge potential, and importantly, it's only 28 kilometres from the large 10 million ounce De Grey Mining Mallina project. So here's our land tenement package. It extends across the northwest part of Western Australia in the Pilbara from Karratha through to Nullagine. Our land package is surrounded by some substantial gold, nickel discoveries, everything from Mount York, Hemi, Warrawoona, Carlo Castle and then Dover. So we're in an area where there are known geological occurrences of mineralisation that people have been able to bring in production. As you can see on the picture, on the left-hand side, you can see a circle that represents the Egina Gold Camp. We'll talk a lot about that today. That's our primary area of exploration. And then the right-hand side, you'll see Mosquito Creek Basin, which is where we've had previous operations and continue to explore, and further south at Bellary Dome, which we'll talk about in terms of our current exploration drilling activities. We also have potential for both lithium and nickel, copper and other battery metals. So as you can see on this slide in the bottom right-hand corner near our Mosquito Creek Basin area, we announced late last year a strategic partnership with Lightam Mining, and that strategic partnership is regarding exploration for lithium, and they're going to spend over $4 million in lithium exploration over the next 12 months. And on the western side of the Pilbara in blue, that circle area represents the work that we've got underway at the moment, where we are divesting our tenements that have potential for nickel, cobalt and other battery metals. Novo wishes to be focused purely on gold, and where we have the opportunity, we do monetize our tenement bases that have potential for other minerals. So here's Egina Gold Camp. It is over 80 kilometre strike length of continuous tenements that we own. The yellow dots show a huge number of targets that we're focused on, but importantly, two areas for us to really focus on in this presentation. At the north is Becher, which is our most advanced and exciting project, and to the south, Nunnery North, which we plan to go drilling in the second half of this year. So a very large landmass that becomes our key focus for the rest of this year in terms of exploration. So here's Becher. Becher in yellow is a 20 square kilometre exploration area. As I said, it's only located 28 kilometres away from Hemi. Hemi is part of the Malina Gold Project for De Grey mining. All up, Hemi has a reserve of over 5 million ounces, and overall the Malina project has over 10 million ounces. So very much Becher is located in the same geological setting, the same shear setting as we see for Hemi. Our work to date has already identified 5 prospects within that 20 square kilometres, which you can see mentioned here. So a very exciting project for us as we move forwards. We commenced drilling in Becher September last year. We completed between September and December 32,000 metres, or over 400 holes of air core drilling. Those holes penetrated through the surface cover, which is between 10 and 20 metres, penetrating into the underlying rock mass, which we've identified now as a synucleoid type intrusion, which are commonly associated with the gold that is hosted in the Malina Basin. The best results we saw on air core was 8 metres at 2.15 grams per tonne. But as you can see in this picture, the whole area in the northern part of the Becher block is covered by very large gold mineralisation that we picked up in that air core drilling. So very, very exciting for us to identify a large area that is now our follow-up, and we've identified multiple targets. We've already started this year a drilling program which is focused on infill drilling between these lines, and that program will continue all the way through the rest of this year. This is a very large area. As you can see on the scale, this picture is about 8 kilometres wide and it's about 5 kilometres high. And those lines that were drilled last year were drilled in 640 metre spacings. So the potential to find gold mineralisation and exciting gold resources between those lines are very, very high. And this year we'll continue the infill program. So Nunnery North, and as a reminder, Nunnery North is 80 kilometres south of Becher down the bottom. This is another exciting project for us. We've already identified a 1.4 kilometre strike length. Our work is showing through soil sampling and rock chips over 300 parts per billion gold anomaly. We've also seen a second horizon of 1.2 kilometres where we've seen over 30 parts per billion gold. All up, 18 soil samples have returned grades of well over 1 gram per tonne, including 2.3 grams per tonne, 2.14 grams per tonne, 1.8 grams per tonne, and 1.59 grams per tonne. So very high soil anomaly gold grades. Likewise, on rock chips, we've seen up to an ounce, 30.3 grams per tonne in rock chips, and also 21 grams per tonne. So this is a very prospective area. Our whole focus is to go drilling in Nunnery North in the second part of this year. It's our second priority project, and we remain very, very excited about this project going forwards. So moving further south in the Pilbara is our Bellary Dome project. We've already commenced drilling this year at Bellary Dome. It's an exciting project because it's actually close to gold roads and into infrastructure. It's within the Bellary Dome. Cardia is our major project. We have the gold rights within this project. Very high gold grade rock chips were identified in 2021. And as you can see here, some of those rock chips were running at over 500 parts per million and 116 parts per million gold. So we've seen really good soil anomalies through this area, and we commenced the 3,000 metre reverse circulation drilling program earlier this year, and that will continue for a number of weeks. Once that program is completed, we'll make a decision on whether we step out further, looking for the continuation of the Cardia trend over 700 metres. Please stay tuned to news releases as we report the results from Bellary Dome drilling at Cardia, but it remains one of our key projects for this half of the year. In the very eastern part of our tenement is the Mosquito Creek Basin. This was the home of our Nullagine Gold Project, which we completed operations later last year. This area has over 750 square kilometres of tenure that Novo is 100% owners. We're very focused on identifying the next possibilities for production, with a key focus of looking at gold targets over 100,000 ounces. We're building a program so that we can start drilling in the second half of this year, building up hopefully a potential for production restart somewhere down the future. We've completed a very large basin review, and as you can see on this slide, if you look at the right-hand side, you can see the Finucane project is one of our key follow-up projects in the later part of this year. The northern part of our tenement block has the Seychelles Trend, which we'll also follow up. And across the board, we have a number of targets which sit under cover, and we'll test those later in the year with a 1,500 metre air core program. So the Mosquito Creek Basin is a very large basin with a historical gold production of over 600,000 ounces. We remain optimistic that there remains good gold potential as we go forwards. Clearly, the big focus for us is the Golden Eagle processing plant, which has a 1.8 million tonne capacity, is within that basin, and that provides us a really good pathway to production should we find economic resources. So a very good opportunity for both Novo and its shareholders as we continue that exploration drilling in the Mosquito Creek Basin. So as you've seen, the Pilbara is quite exciting, but we also have tenements in Victoria, and that's part of the Belltopper Gold Project, which is 100% owned by Novo, at both the Malmesbury and Queens project, which we've completed 100% ownership and transferred to us in mid-April this year. So we're now the managers of these projects. They're very exciting. They're located 50 kilometres south of the Fosterville gold mine, which is within the Bendigo tectonic zone, and we've seen over 60 million ounces produced in that zone historically. Novo has done lots of work in the last 2 years building a really good geological picture of the tenements. We've been doing a lot of geological mapping, identified dense network of high-grade gold reefs, that in close proximity to gold-bearing felsic, and we've been able to build a 3D geological and mineralisation model. We will continue that work in the first part of this year, leading to drilling programs in the second part of this year, really focused on defining regional alteration, geochem partners, and mapping their mineralisation. We're excited by Belltopper. Victoria and Fosterville mine are very big gold producers, and we think we're in the right real estate to look for similar type of occurrences going forwards. So if you've seen, we've got a lot of exploration activities underway. Last year, with our work across our tenement package, we've now built a really closely focused and drill-focused 2023 discovery plan. So on the left-hand side, you can see we're very focused on the Egina Gold Camp at Becher and Nunnery that I've talked about. Bellary Dome, we've talked about Cardia and its trend. On the right-hand side, Mosquito Creek Basin remains a drill targets for us in the second part of this year. And finally, on the right-hand side in Victoria, our focus on Belltopper. So if you look at our corporate presentation, you'll be able to see more details of that drill program going forwards. But it's very exciting that after 18 months of work, Novo now has a very clear pathway for drilling, which hopefully will lead to discovery as we execute the program. As I said at the start, across our tenement package, we've also been very focused on non-gold. Whilst our whole overall strategy is focused on gold exploration, we are very cognizant of the fact that our tenement packages sit in occurrences of both lithium north of us and also battery metals, nickel and copper in particular. So in the December, as I said, we've completed a partnership for lithium, so that allows our shareholders to be exposed to lithium and the battery metals portfolio and the electrification that's going on around the world. Similarly, in the western side, as I mentioned before, our west Pilbara areas are very, very high occurrences of both copper and nickel. We completed work last year which identified occurrences of nickel in the northern part of our tenements. We also did some scout drilling in the south, which also showed great promise. So within our normal strategy, we've now started the process of divestment. And importantly, as you can see on this picture, our tenements are within striking range of other resources. Carlo Castle, which is a copper gold occurrence, and also Azure Metals Andover project where they have a nickel resource. So again, exciting exposure to our shareholders in battery metals. So we keep an eye on this as you go forwards. Within Novo, we have a very experienced board. Quentin Heni, who was part of the founders of Novo, remains a key part of our group going forwards. Michael Barrett brings finances, resources. Ross Hamilton has an ESG background, and Amy brings legal and company secretarial experience, supported by a high-quality CFO, and also Kaz DeLuca, who's our key driver for our exploration, has experience across the world looking for gold occurrences. So we have a very experienced board backed up by a very good exploration team, and that will help us drive success. So this is how our balance sheet looks at the moment. We've at the moment got $31 million of cash. We're debt free, which is really, really good. We have a portfolio of mainly unlisted investments, which are around about 20 million Canadian. So at the moment, we're well funded for the program that we plan to execute. In terms of our shareholders have been very supportive of Novo's work over many years and have remained quite stable. They include Eric Sprott, which many people would be familiar with. Mark Creasy is an Australian-based explorer who's a big commitment to exploration in the Pilbara and a good supporter of ours. Crescut Capital, based in Denver, is a big shareholder, as well as Anico Eagle has about 3%. So we have very, very, very good support as we go forwards. We're very committed to ESG, and we're focused on delivering an ESG platform which conforms to the ICMM standards. And we're very focused on operating with integrity, valuing our people and communities, and really building environmental resilience. So ESG remains very important for us as we go through the exploration, development, operations phase. So finally, to sum up, Novo, we're a gold-focused explorer in Western Australia and Victoria. Our focus is on large 1 million ounce projects. We're focused on aggressive exploration across that portfolio in the Pilbara, and as you've heard, we're drill ready. We have drill rigs spinning all the way through 2023, and we'll have a strong pipeline of news flow. Within that drilling program, as you've seen, Becher remains our key project, and please keep an eye out for the results as we release those during this year. But importantly, we're still focused on our other key areas of Mosquito Creek, Bellary, Dome, and Belltopper. Our ESG values are very important to us, and they remain a cornerstone of how we operate. And we're a very high credential management team and board that's focused on delivery and shareholders. So I hope that gives everyone a really good overview of Novo Resources. And please keep up to date with our website and the news flow as we come through. So I'm going to take the opportunity to clear out some questions and talk a little bit more detail on some of those things. One of the questions, is really key milestones for 2023 for us and for everyone else. Really focus on the news flow that comes out in relation to the discovery plan that I've talked about. As I said, we've got drill rigs floating here at the moment in the Bellary Dome. We've got a drill rig working at Becher. In the second half of the year, those drill rigs will move down to Nunnery, and we'll see drill rigs operating in Victoria at Belltopper and Mosquito Creek. So they're the key milestones. Becher is an exciting project. We have only started the work there. The results are fantastic. We've got a lot more work to do before we build a good geological picture, but we're definitely seeing the Hemi style type mineralization. So that's the key milestone for us. The work that we complete in this quarter of the year to allow us to build the geological models. So that's the key thing that people should look out for. And then behind the scenes, battery metals, as I said, remains very much part of the chance of us to monetize our shareholder value. We know from our work that we have a lot of potential for nickel and copper in those tenements. We see the best way for our shareholders to get value is to monetize through divestment. That process has started, so we would expect that divestment process to be finished by the end of Q3 in some manner that allows shareholder value to be produced, which is really, really good for us. So all in all, I think Novo is a very good position. We've got cash, we're debt-free, we've got a very good team, and we're really focused on moving forwards. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening and welcome any feedback or other questions back through our website back to us. So thank you very much.